Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the podcast, the ScreenSurger podcast, where we have a wide variety of topics. We will be discussing these topics and how we feel about them.
We have some exciting stuff today. We're going to be calling up people, giving them therapy. I put a little DM out on Instagram. I said, call us up and we'll give you therapeutical advice. So
advice?
We're definitely be helping out a lot of people solve their issues today. Already from the millions and millions of people that watch us every day, we're going to reach out to the fans because you guys are the ones that matter most.
Guys, we did get a lot of DMs, so if we didn't pick you, don't feel bad, but you're on your own.
We got so many. We got millions, but we only have time for 2. So, 2 30-second calls. All right, so DEI is something that's big in the news right now, and my take on it, something that's interesting is, I don't see anything wrong with DEI. First off, statistically, it increased. That's why the banks are not dropping it, because it makes them more money to have people from different backgrounds, okay? Now, it got a little overboard, because when I was applying to jobs, they were like, are you a gay lesbian who's black? And I'm not. So that's where it went a little overboard. But, so it's good that that's kind of gone now.
Was it Diversity Exclusion Initiative?
No.
Oh, that's funny.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Okay.
But all these big movie studios, I'm not going to name any, but they've made a big public announcement, a big stink about, we are now no longer pushing this agenda. It's like there's so...
Wait,
they're making an action.
No, it's not.
Disney was the poster child
it's
for
a lot
that.
It's pretty much all of them.
Wait, they're really making a statement saying we're no longer
because
doing
there's so many companies. It's not just film studios. It's every corporation. They are such spineless fucks, and people don't understand this. It's like they literally will only do what makes them money, and that's their job. They're in business, but don't count on them for social support unless they're Ben and Jerry's, because they're pretty good about it. But it's just funny because they came with the most crazy thing, just like Meta, and it's like nobody made you make these crazy initiatives like putting tampons in the men's room. No one forced you to do that, Zuckerberg. You did that. Mm-hmm. And now you're out here saying that it's the most ridiculous thing ever. You did it. It was your company. Own it. Mm-hmm. But in 4 years, they'll switch again. When Democrats are president, they'll put them back into play. So that's my take on the whole thing.
I really don't have anything different to say. That's exactly how I feel about it.
What about you?
How about the tampons in the men's room?
Tampons in the men's room? I think, who could possibly want that?
If you get frequent nosebleeds.
Yeah,
they work for nosebleeds. You can shove them up there.
But are women even going into the men's bath? Or why don't they do they have tampons in the women's bathroom? And then I'd like to further that second out with another question by saying, did they take the tampons that they put in the men's room and take them from the women's room? Or did they just buy new boxes?
That's just a stupid question.
Well, because that's something I'd want to know, right?
No, obviously they bought more boxes.
Well, you don't know that.
We don't know that.
We don't know that.
They're not going to be used.
You can't be sure because they're also big on recycling.
So did they take if they have excess?
Are they trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone here?
And then on top of that, when it comes down to a technical supply chain thing, do they have a separate, these are men's bathrooms tampon, these are women's bathroom tampon?
Is there a difference in the actual production of these tampons?
Yeah, are they all the same for men and women?
I mean, they could always be...
Are men's more or less absorbent? These are the questions we need to be asking.
What is a male tampon absorbing? And
where
do you stick it?
Bigger question is, what does a male's period look like? Is it a heavy flow?
Where do you stick a male tampon? It's got to be extremely thin if you're shoving it in your pee hole.
I don't think that they are. I think it's more of a psychological thing. You put it there,
you just drop it in your underwear.
Yes.
It's not doing it.
It's more of a mindset to being on your period.
Wait, they can just shove it up their ass too.
It's a mental thing, I would say, mostly.
It's a mental thing. It's not really a...
So they put it in their ear and their brain.
Yeah. Maybe that'll...
What were you gonna say?
Maybe that'll fix it. Just a joke.
That's fine.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with transgenderism. I really have nothing against them. Just had to say the joke because we are trying to be funny on the podcast. Was it funny?
Yes.
I think it was. Probably offensive to some people.
We're gonna follow that up with 10 seconds of silence to honor them so it cancels out.
All right, that's good.
Okay.
We've
made up for it. 1 for 1, it cancels out.
Something we should do now. Anytime we say something horrible, we just take a moment.
10 seconds of silence. No one's going to listen to the podcast because every 5 minutes it's going to be it's just silence.
But it's a good way that we can kind of cancel out our wrongdoings.
You can't make a good joke without...
I agree. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. Every time we say a joke that might be offensive, we're going to take 10 seconds to honor that community which we offended. And it makes up. All that time accumulated, they can't still possibly be mad at us. By the end of the podcast, we will have spent half of it at least sitting in silence.
Any comments, haters from the last time, or any